Welcome back, everybody, to the Discheads podcast. Today it's episode 7. I am your host, Lachlan, doing an intro for once, and I'm joined today by...
Jacob, again.
As usual. And this is why I don't do the intros, because I fuck them up.
Well, aside from maybe the tongue flap, you did pretty well.
The tongue flap's really, I thought, what made the podcast intro.
It did. It was like, yeah, it was the cherry on top.
Oh my god, 7 episodes in, we still don't know how to fucking converse like regular humans.
Communication wasn't a strong point. No wonder I dropped out of the communication degree. But
no wonder I moving on.
This is just we're just having a bad time. But today we're going to be talking about some movies because today we have seen movies.
Yes.
Or throughout the last time we had a podcast, we have seen many movies.
We have.
Many new releases. It is also a very sad day because this could be the end of Spider-Man.
That's a good joke.
That was pretty well. It's not like it's. I feel like it just came naturally because I've practiced it a bit. But
now, where have I seen this before?
I was going through some old audio tapes and it sounded a bit familiar.
You're trash, Jacob. Yes, we're back. It's episode 7. We got lots of things to talk about. I don't know how to speak English today, Jacob. I need you to lead me somewhere.
Lion King.
Lion King, the classic 1994 film. What about it?
They'd made a live action remake of it.
They did not.
They did not. They did. They did, and they've released it a while ago. And you just saw it this morning. Do you recall this?
I did. I honestly I forgot already. To be honest.
Moving on, we also saw.
Yeah, so I got up early this morning on my day off because out of basically an obligation to the people listening, so that we could quickly discuss this fucking movie. All right. Do you want to quickly brush over the things we liked about the film before we tear it to shreds? Do you have anything you liked about it?
Well, I don't know what you liked, but I liked yeah. Other than just being very visually impressive.
Yeah,
that's it.
That's all I was gonna say. Is that it's a visual masterpiece. It's incredible what they've done. That's it. That's all I can have to say.
Yep.
I was trying to find positive things. I was gonna be I was waiting for Donald Glover to show up, and I was hoping I could be like, well, Donald Glover was good, but just every single thing about it, I was like, nothing is better than the original here. There's no shining thing that I can say was good about this movie, aside from the visuals.
Even James L. Jones, it's the same person, but at the same time, he doesn't give as good as a delivery as he did in 1994.
I said that in a previous episode. He sounds like someone trying to impersonate James L. Jones, because he's just too old to do it.
Yeah, he's not too old to do it. He's just...
he's just so old that he doesn't sound like what he used to sound like.
Yeah, the power in his voice is gone, unfortunately. But
yes.
Or leaving him. That'll be a sad day when he dies.
It will be.
Not to get too morbid. Jesus Christ.
You know what will not be a sad day? The day that I never have to hear John Oliver's voice ever again.
See, I was talking to a friend at work, and I said to him, you know what this new Lion King movie feels like? Because we're both really heavily into the movie sphere as well. Mm-hmm. I said, do you know? Have you seen that image that's been floating around? It's if the Avengers was made in the 90s, and it's like who they'd cast and who was popular in the 90s and who were they?
Yeah, they'd have like Wesley Snipes as Black Panther and shit like that.
Yeah, and what DiCaprio and Brad Pitt as like Captain America and Thor and shit like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's essentially what the new Lion King feels like.
It's they've just gotten who's popular now.
Who's popular? Yeah, who's popular? Like, who would you have cast in the modern day to play these characters?
Yeah,
and that's the only reason why I feel like it was made. And aside from some tech geeks saying we need money, exactly. I've actually got some very rare golden Lion King Ushies up in the shelf right in front of me.
Really?
Yeah.
That's incredible, dude. Are you going to sell them at a high price, or are you going to keep them forever because they're incredibly special to you?
I'm gonna put them right in my colon, and I'm gonna
Right in the man cave.
I'm gonna put them right in the man cave and preserve them for years to come, and hopefully they will
generations.
Hopefully they will ferment and give me whatever special Lion King powers they will.
They give you the power to emote through your voice, but not through your face.
Exactly. Well,
because you're a lion, and lions can't cry, so you'll just make sad noises.
Yeah. So the reason why I brought up the whole like if it was made today thing is because well if you were to do that, I think if you were going to get like a British person to play like this sort of like kiss ass character like Zazu is, I'd think like the person you'd go to would be Jamie Oliver.
Jamie
Oliver. Fuck is it?
Mufasa, I want you to eat these fucking my fucking chicken nuggets are way better than theirs.
Eat these fucking nuts, chicken Mufasa.
Eat these fucking chicken nuts. Quote Jamie Oliver.
Hi lads, I'm here with Woolworths fucking chicken nuts. I've got a Lion King Ushi here. I'm going bankrupt. I need Disney to call me back.
Can we, off the bat, let's name this episode Jamie Oliver's Nuts.
Yeah. Jamie Oliver's nuts here. He's just slicing his nuts up on a fucking shopping board.
John Oliver, I think you meant to say.
John Oliver.
John Connor.
Going back. Imagine how shit that would be if John Connor was played by fucking John Oliver.
John Oliver.
It's just like he'd be like, "There's no fate for what we make for ourselves." Just fuck it. Yeah, I can't stand him. But I was like, oh, in order to play that character, yeah, you'd get him. Like he's an alright like generic British guy voice actor. He's just.
But he sucked. He sucked in the role. I hated him. He was possibly him and whoever played Timon were my least favorite part of the whole movie.
See, I didn't mind Timon. Timon and Pumbaa were okay. I thought the worst ones in the movie with John Oliver, no, but Beyonce. I thought Beyonce was the worst one.
I hated her singing, to be honest. Her inclusion in the film, I felt, ruined the songs for me.
Exactly. And
it's got her over singing. Like, because her thing is she. I don't want to try and replicate it, but someone she doesn't just go e. She goes e.
Yeah, it's a very soul thing she does, which goes. Like,
I know
it's real bouncy, like yeah, like
it doesn't feel like she's singing a modern. It doesn't feel like she's singing the same song. It feels like she's inserting herself into the song.
Yeah, I don't want to put this in a very. I want to put this very as delicately. Actually, no, I'm not going to put it delicately at all. I think it's because she sounds very, very black. But
well, I mean, look, in all honesty, a lot of the cast, like now you got Donald Glover as Simba, and we're not trying to say anything here. Like, I don't care that they're all black. That was just an observation. Like James Earl Jones was already fucking,
yeah. But yeah, like there's a very. It's a very recognizable way of singing. That's why that's kind of what I meant to say. It's a very recognizable way of singing, as opposed to which doesn't fit the movie very well. I think that's what I was trying to get at.
Actually, also in terms of voice acting, not so much their voice acting, but just their characters. The new hyenas with Key and Peele.
Oh fuck yeah, they were bad.
They were horrible.
They were awful. What a downgrade, because at least like all the other characters were almost exactly the same, so the different voice actors. These ones are just like they butt fucked the hyenas.
Yeah, it's not their fault. Like, it's not Key and Peele's fault, but yeah, their inclusion in the film fucking sucked.
It wasn't Key and Peele. It was Peele, and I think it was Eric Andre.
It was oh.
Yeah.
You're right.
So two very talented comedians given fuck all to do in the movie.
Right. To be honest, whenever I see one of Key or Peele's names, I just assume that it's a package deal.
Yeah, unfortunately. Well, I think it's Peele. Yeah, no. Who's the one who is directing all the movies? Is it
Jordan?
Peele?
Yeah, Jordan Peele.
Jordan Peele. Yeah.
Well, that's actually what I was going to say. I was going to say, Jordan Peele, you're so talented. Stick to these new directorial movies. But as you've just pointed out, I don't think he's actually in the movie. So
it might have been Key. They're interchangeable.
I think it's Keegan-Michael Key that was in it, not Jordan Peele. I think you're right.
Whoopsie daisy. Is it because they're black? No, sorry. Yeah, no. I was talking to someone about it. I was listening to someone talk about it, and they were saying, look, the way the movie industry works is if they want to progress forward or like try out a new technology, we can't be too angry with this film because at least this is giving people jobs. This is giving people stuff to do. This is going into someone's paycheck, and like at the same time, like now that I'm studying it and I understand how much work goes into these movies, I'm like, okay, yeah. I can understand that. But at the same time, it's just the laziest way to incorporate a movie using this new Star Spangled fucking special effects. It's like, well, why don't you just make a separate African savannah movie?
What I was about to say is, it's Disney. They like one of the richest companies in the world. They could apply these same, in saying that, apply the same amount of money, give the same amount of jobs to a completely new project that might be very original and really good.
Exactly.
I don't think you can use it as an excuse. Like, yeah, it gave people jobs, but you could have diverted this to something new instead of what they've done. Well, it doesn't give them a pass just because they've given all these people jobs. It doesn't change the fact that it's like a shit movie.
Exactly. Well, that and also the other defense of it that I find is quite annoying is it wasn't made for you. It's made for a new generation. It's like, well, then in the same time, like I think the way that's phrased, it sort of implies that the original movie isn't timeless at all.
Exactly.
Like, because it's timeless. It's not a product of the 90s. It's just it's like if you want to show your child The Lion King, you'd show them The Lion King. You wouldn't go like, well, fuck, I'm not going to show them The Lion King because it came out in the 90s, but since it's being remade today, well, I'm going to go show them. Like, no, You'd be like, why didn't they just re-release The Lion King in theaters again?
Because that doesn't make them enough money, Jacob.
Exactly. It's greedy, and people who always say that bullshit of it created jobs. It's not made for you. Well, you're being suckered. It's a corporate ploy for you to get money from you in the most cheap, basic way possible, and you're defending it by saying, like you're just a whiny man baby. It's like, no, we just see it beyond it. You're. And we are whiny man babies to a certain extent.
True,
but
true.
It's not the worst.
The way I see it, new films are coming out all the time. Mm-hmm. Disney, makes most of them because they own fucking everything. So the jobs are still there. And okay, yes, it can actually be quite hard to get into the film industry, but those people are in there. The jobs will still be there if this film wasn't made, because another film will be made by Disney instead.
Exactly. Exactly. Like it's. Oh, I just checked on the official Disney Instagram the other day. They're making a Lady in the Tramp live action with real dogs.
Yes, they are. I saw they posted a photo of dogs, and I was like, ugh.
Yeah, that was wholly uncomfortable for me. When I saw that, I thought it wasn't real.
And of course, we've got Little Mermaid coming out. Mulan's coming out next year.
I'm interested in Mulan. I don't know how I feel about Little Mermaid. If you want to talk about the controversy around that, we can. But I don't want to. I don't really care about it.
Don't really care. No.
Yeah, no, I don't. I don't really care about it either. Like, I don't really care about the casting either. Just whatever.
But at the end of the day, I don't give a fuck about that movie.
Well, I enjoy the first Little Mermaid. Actually, for some reason, I watched it for like 3 weeks straight in middle school. For some reason, I was like going through like not even a quarter life crisis. I was like, I want to relive my childhood, even though I never watched this fucking movie.
Because you're a fucking homo, Jacob.
A homosexual of the highest of the highest order. Thank you very much. This is well known. This is very well documented. According to everyone's gaydar, I am very high up on there because I watched The Little Mermaid a few times.
See, what I'm curious about, going back to upcoming Disney remake releases. I'm curious if they'll make a Hunchback of Notre Dame, because I can't see them making it without it being horribly offensive.
Yeah, and especially after the Notre Dame nearly burnt down this year, I don't think they'll be making it anytime soon.
Actually, that's very true.
But also because it's such like a touchy subject material, I don't think they'll. Yeah, Disney's been fucking neutered. They're not ballsy enough anymore.
No, I said this to someone the other day. I said that I feel like if Walt Disney, because we were looking at the fact that they're going to turn 100 very soon, because I think they were founded in the 20s.
Yep.
So I feel like Walt Disney, he would probably roll over in his grave to see what Disney's like these days, because they used to be just the leading pinnacle of, of cinema, of making original and timeless classics, and now look at them.
Yeah. Well, very funny you mentioned that. Is who's the guy in charge? Bob Iger. I do recall reading somewhere that Disney said he never wants to make a sequel to any of his movies. He never wanted to make a sequel. But during the 90s, because Disney, this is when, I think the 90s is when Disney started getting a little bit, started the beginning of that whole money hungry phase thing.
Well, it's also when they made some of their best films, though. It's what people consider their Renaissance period, where they made all their classic animated films.
Yeah, but if they made a sequel to any of their movies, it was all straight to DVD bullshit. It was like
that's true.
There's
three Lion Kings. There's three Aladdins. There's all that shit.
There's even a Hunchback of Notre Dame sequel.
There is.
Which unfortunately, whenever I go to find Hunchback of Notre Dame on Blu-ray, it's a joint package. It's a double feature.
Yes. Have you ever seen the sequel? Because I haven't. I'd be buying it just because I was curious to see how shitty it was.
No, I've never seen it, but I've seen clips of it, and apparently the people who animated it, well, it wasn't Disney who animated it, apparently. It was apparently the people who were behind some, responsible for some, 90s TV cartoons. Like, you've ever heard of Animaniacs?
Yeah, that's a very famous Warner Brothers entity, isn't it?
So basically, the company behind that animated it, so that's why apparently the animation looks so bad, because Disney's style of animation is very different to theirs, and there's
that would be very jarring.
In TV animation, you can hold on a frame for a character, but in Disney's animation, all the characters are constantly moving, and that's why there's graceful sort of flowing effects. But when I was watching clips of it, they were very still and very very, it was very awkward. And that's,
is it like something? Is it like the first few seasons of Family Guy, where it's like only one thing will move at the one time?
Yes, yeah, exactly like that, almost. Yeah.
Yeah. If one character's talking, he will be the only character that moves. Everything else, everyone in the background, everyone in the foreground will stand still until it's their turn to do something. Isn't that a running joke throughout Family Guy still now? Because doesn't that still happen? I don't know. Probably, because Family Guy's a lazy piece of garbage.
It is. I haven't watched Family Guy in ages, but
No. I used to really like Family Guy. Like to be fair, I was a stupid fucking teenager. Because I've gone back and watched some of the stuff that I did really like, and it's not very funny anymore. But there is a period where Family Guy was very funny.
Yeah, it was daring. It was something new. Now I think people are just catching on to how lazy it is.
Oh yeah. I want to go back to the Lion King.
Yeah, we didn't really go too deep into
just what you said before about Disney being neutered now. So this film, it's basically it's a borderline shot for shot remake.
Totally. The way I described it to someone was like, at least with the Aladdin movie that came out this year, you could say it was a different script that used some of the lines from the original movie.
Honestly, I have a bit more respect for it now after seeing The Lion King. At least they tried a few things with Aladdin.
Exactly, but this one, it's not a new script with some of the old lines. It's the exact same script with a few new lines. Well, it's here's so lazy. Yeah.
My issue is that despite the fact that it's nearly a shot-for-shot remake, they've removed some of the best parts of the film. In particular, the song Be Prepared, which was a fucking joke in this new movie.
Yeah. Just to show you or explain how and some stories can only be told through animation.
Yes.
The Be Prepared song is not only a catchy beat, but it's also very visually interesting. When you've got plus it's quite fantastical. There's stuff happening all over the place.
Yeah.
When you're doing a photorealistic interpretation of that story.
Yeah, you kind of green lava and smoke spraying everywhere and things like that.
Yeah. So making that realistic lessens the impact a lot. And not only that, but like only half, like barely even half of the song is played. It sounds more like a fucking like a really creepy high school chant, like as opposed to like, you know, an actual song in the beginning. It was like it was like even the beats are off. It's almost like a different beat. Like there's like a, you know, the original is be prepared. At one point it's just be prepared, be prepared, be prepared. And it's like,
Yes,
what?
yeah.
That,
Most
that's
of the lyrics
that's
to the song would just be prepared.
yeah. I think I know why they changed it though.
I know exactly why.
You do?
Yes.
Is this got to do with a certain goose stepping hyenas?
Yes, it does. But here's the thing. Yeah, so if you don't know what we're talking about, there is technically some Nazi sort of symbolism. They have the army of hyenas marching very similarly to our German friends. But here's the thing. That's got nothing to do with the song.
It's the choreography.
They publicly stated the reason they changed it and they've removed it partially from the film is because of that. But that's just a visual. Just don't include that visual and keep the song.
Exactly. Like yeah, it was a big misstep. Like when it came on, I watched it with one of my friends, and Be Prepared is one of his favorite Disney songs. And when we saw it,
It's one of mine.
It's what I've got a few. It's up there for me, but like I think it's my favorite song in the movie, but it's not my favorite Disney song. But like we were at some points laughing, and like just pissed. We were going in from being like pissed off, like this is it, to laughing because like, you know, smoke,
so underwhelming.
So underwhelming. Smoke, lava, and literally in the movie when Be Prepared is sung, he's literally just climbing like a termite mound and gets to the top. He's like, "Be prepared," and everyone's like, "Yeah, be prepared." And that's it. That's it. That's the that's the gusto you're bringing to the fucking movie, and that's also the biggest. Like that's also got something to do with the photorealism, because animals aren't that emotive. They can emote, but like especially lions. Lions look like they're shit bored in real life.
Yes, and I got that impression from the film.
Especially like I was laughing when Mufasa was saving Simba from the hyenas initially, and he's roaring at them. But like lions, when they roar, like a lot of it comes from the stomach. So like because I watch a lot of wildlife stuff anyway, so I know what it looks like. But the lions do a thing called chuffing, and it's like basically it's their long like moaning roar, and it's how they like call out to their other pride members.
Yeah.
But male lions do it as a sort of like dominance thing, and but it looks like they're kind of vomiting a bit. They go like that, but they have this like real like lazy expression on their face. And so when Mufasa is supposed to be having like big dramatic scenes like that,
yeah,
it just looks like a lion chuffing going, and it just does, and it just looks funny to me because like it doesn't look threatening. Like at some point, like they're not. The expression. It's really embarrassing. There's a part where at the beginning where, in order to make up for the lack of expression in their faces, they substituted it with really obvious music. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yes.
Yes. When Mufasa's going to go talk to Scar, the scene that's shot for shot done, because in the like just for an example, in the original movie, we've already met. Well, no, we haven't already met, but we've already seen who Mufasa is.
Yes.
In the Circle of Life song. So when he comes to confront Scar, there's no like big grand entrance because like, oh, we know who this lion is.
Mm-hmm.
But in the new one, you see Mufasa, we know who he is. Then next scene, he goes to meet Scar, or like he shows up to meet Scar, and then when he shows up, they go Mufasa. Then this bit of music swells, and like.
Yeah.
Like we've already seen this character not more than like a minute ago. Like it's the why yeah.
No, sorry, you finish.
I was gonna say it's only there in order to fucking
and be like, this is who this character is, in case you didn't realize, because he's a regular looking fucking lion.
Exactly, yeah.
What was I going to say? I also question the fact that we had to watch that little mouse thing hop around for a minute and a half to get to that scene. When it's about 20 seconds or less in the original. And it, it adds nothing to the film watching it jump around.
See, like, because Favreau did the Jungle Book movie, right?
Yes.
If I remember in that movie, there was a lot of random shots of just like jungle critters running around doing bullshit.
Okay.
And like I thought, like, oh, hopefully there's not that much in The Lion King. It's there.
Yeah.
And
I'm going to come back to that in a sec. Don't you worry.
Is this got to do something with the fucking
with a tuft of fur?
No.
Okay.
Oh, the way Rafiki finds out that
Yes, but
I was gonna refer to the Lion Sleeps Tonight song. It's such a throwaway joke in the beginning in the first Lion King, and it's its own like song.
It's
sequence.
a full on song, and all the animals join in.
And all these random like jungle critters who you've never met before just suddenly join in. You're like, who the fuck are these animals? It's just because like Jon Favreau's like, go throw in some you got to throw in some bush babies or whatever the fuck they are. Got to throw in some antelopes because there's animals in Africa. Did you know that? But
just going back to things they removed as well. Before I'm going to look at the things they added. They removed, in my opinion, the most important line of the entire film, where Rafiki hits Simba on the head with the big stick. He goes, "Ow, what'd you do that for?" And he goes, "It doesn't matter. It's in the past." And that teaches him to let go of the past and that he needs to think about the future. And it's just not there. He just shows up and he talks to Mufasa for a second and he's like, "I'm Simba. The son of Mufasa."
That was so cringy. It was like, okay, let me ask you again. Who are you? I am Simba. Like it was. I don't know whether it just didn't feel earned. None of it felt earned.
All they had to do was put that little bit in, and I felt like it would have been much better.
Well, it's a whole half an hour longer than the original movie, so like of course you could have fit that in, but instead you had to make way for a fucking extended sequence of Nala trying to escape. Like it's which is that's one scene where Nala tries to escape. That's been added to the movie to go find Simba. Where not needed, not
doesn't add anything. Yeah, so we've subtracted possibly the best song of the film. We've subtracted one of the most important lines of the film. What have we added? We've added that little thing, jump around for a minute and a half. We've extended The Lion Sleeps Tonight. We've added scenes of Nala escaping. And we've extended a lot of extra fart jokes in Hakuna Matata for some fucking reason.
Yeah, there's a real meta quality to some of the fart jokes or just jokes in general made by Timon and Pumbaa. Like there's a Be Our Guest reference.
Oh, I was wondering, what the fuck are you doing at that point? It's like Disney just jerking themselves off.
We make famous movies you've heard of, right? Like it's just like, for fuck's sake, like Disney, we know every single movie you make, you tell us it's not subtle, it's in your face and it's obnoxious. They need to fucking stop.
The original film, it might only be a 30-second long scene, but they just made up their own original little song for Timon and Pumbaa to sing there.
Exactly.
And we've replaced it with a song from a different Disney film.
What was what was the other thing that they changed around and added? They at least in the original one, when Pumbaa goes to Pumbaa says he farted. He gets cut off by Timon and Pumbaa and says but gets cut off by Timon and says not in front of the kids, and it's kind of a meta sort of fourth wall break joke. Instead,
there was a bunch of fucking farts in this one.
Yeah, well, he farts at some point, and he's like, no, he says, "Aren't you gonna stop me?" And he's like, "No." So it's a joke predicated on the fact that you have to have listened to the original song, which is lazy.
Lazy.
That's not what I thought Disney was.
No,
lazy.
No, I thought they were better than this.
I thought they were better than this, and apparently they aren't.
Yeah, the most egregious inclusion to me, actually it might be the fart jokes, but aside from that, is how long do you think that tuft of hair scene was? Like 2 minutes long?
Oh yeah, that's probably what's padded out the extra 30 minutes.
Yeah, it just kept fucking going and it means nothing.
Nothing. It meant absolutely fucking nothing. Yeah, it was just like, it wasn't even that interesting. Like it was like, hey, this sort of like brief montage in the original. Let's make it extra extended. That's it.
Yes.
That's it. Like it's There's no real thought. I don't see. The thing is, Favreau is a good director, but I think
He's a great director.
but this doesn't feel like a movie made by him. It feels like a movie that maybe he just like was like, they asked him, said, "Hey, you did a good job on the Jungle Book. Make this one." He's like, "Well, fuck, I have no idea what to do." And like so he's just like, let me just throw into shit. Yeah.
I was going to bring this up as well. Does this movie even need a director?
It
I
didn't.
really don't think it does. It's because it's a product. It's a thing that's already been directed, and it's an updated product version of this film. You don't need to get a big director in to do this. All you need is for a bunch of like executive people to just be like, okay, do this, but again.
Isn't like, yeah, these movies aren't, yeah, they're not directed, they're produced. Exactly.
Yeah.
You are exactly right. It's a shame.
It's a shame.
I think the best way we can sum up this egregiously bland movie is that everything we feared it was going to be turned out to be correct.
I know. You can see us predicting it before the film even came out in our previous videos that we've done on this channel, and it's a shame. It
is a shame. If I recall, didn't we talk about it on 2 podcasts, or were we
Probably.
It was just the one, probably.
We've complained many times about the upcoming Disney films, and now here they are, and they're as shitty as we said they were going to be. So
I think it's because 2 of these, Lion King and Aladdin, were just so near and dear to us, or at least near and dear to me, that I thought
definitely
thought it was worth talking about.
Yeah.
You know what isn't worth talking about?
What isn't worth talking about?
That I need to piss. I'll be right back.
Well, I'm going to eat some food.
So serves me right for drinking 2 gallons of water before we do this.
I just ate Jaffa cakes into the microphone the whole time you were gone.
That's okay. I should have brought the microphone with me, really, and just pissed straight into the microphone. That would have been some good ambience. Like you should just put up on the screen like, "We'll be right back," and just sounds of pissing. The sound of pissing, starring Julie Andrews.
So that was the Lion King. Go watch literally anything else.
Yep. Take your kids to go see the original Lion King. It's not worth it. The kids will probably get freaked out by the realistic animals anyway.
Yes. So, we said we were going to quickly touch on the Lion King. It's been 30 minutes now because we don't know restraint. We're as bad as Peter Jackson when it comes to knowing when to stop.
What an apt analogy that is. We are potential Peter Jacksons. Warner Brothers needs to contact us.
Yeah, we'll split the podcast. We're going to split our podcast into 3 parts now, and there'll be 3 hours each.
And we're gonna get Weta Digital to animate our avatars and shit.
Yeah, we're doing away with the practical effects from our previous efforts. It's all going to be digital from now on.
Exactly. The future is 100% digital. What is next on the agenda, my dear Locke?
Well, I have a special thing I'd like to talk to you about.
Please tell me about the rash. I mean, tell me about whatever it was.
This is still on the topic of Disney. So, the Toy Story trilogy was recently released in 4K. They had like a re-release for it. You know, Toy Story 4 has just come out. It's the perfect time to update the film into 4K. You know, bank on the fact that the new film's come out.
Exactly. Yeah.
Have you heard anything about this re-release of the trilogy?
No. Please explain.
So, a certain character has he's been hit by a wave that has been hitting many people in the film industry these past few years.
I think I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. The Stinky Pete has been Me Too'd.
Stinky Pete is has been
Stinky Pete has been part of the fucking Me Too movement and has had his scene pulled from Toy Story 2.
Yep. For those who don't know what we're talking about, there's a mid-credits blooper gag reel on Toy Story 2. And there's a joke where it implies that Stinky Pete is a Hollywood producer tycoon type who is offering these Barbie dolls sex in return for a role in the movie. Which is a really like on the nose, not on the nose. It's a really like subtle like adult joke. Kids won't get it.
Yes,
but they might have a little idea of like, pretty women, something like that. But like, yeah, adults would be like, ah, ha, ha. But considering the shitstorm that was the Me Too tidal wave, I think Disney's so is so concerned about self-image. It's not funny.
I know. I think, to be honest, that joke gets better with age. It's so relevant in this day and age that it's really funny.
And considering the fact that Stinky Pete is a villain, like it makes sense that he's doing something shitty and nefarious. Like,
I know. Well, to be honest though, Jacob, I'm just glad to see him off the streets.
Off the streets and in the sheets on the casting couch.
Now, you've had personal experiences with Stinky Pete, haven't you?
Yeah. Like I think that's how I got financing for this podcast. I believe.
Oh yeah, he wanted to keep you quiet.
Yeah, he wanted me to suck his pickaxe, and I.
Well, this is it. The official tell-all to the world. This is you coming out against Stinky Pete.
Stinky Pete touched me in a way that no other fictional 3D rendered character has.
I can see the headlines now. My night with Stinky Pete.
My night with Stinky Pete. See, he said to me, he'd offer me a role in the movie, but I told him no. But he said he'd have me locked away in a box forever, and he sliced me open and he penetrated me with a thing he called his bullseye. It was
I thought you were the bullseye. And he was right on target.
No, that would have been his Jap's eye. Fuck my life. Fuck it. Fuck this joke. Fuck it. Fuck Toy Story.
You mean you don't want to talk in great detail about Stinky Pete, the most dangerous man in cinema?
Yeah, he said he'd get his lawyers to come down so hard on me if they revealed if I ever came out and revealed him for the slimy little shitty 4-foot manlet thing he is. So yeah.
He climbed inside your backpack and he was like, "I'm gonna give you a makeover."
Yep, that's exactly what he did, and he wanted to sell me to he wanted to send me to Japan.
He wanted.
It's been a while since I've seen Toy Story 2, actually. I need to
Same, dude. It's just on the topic of 4Ks because I'm an addict. I need to buy those. I need to buy that trilogy in 4K.
I was thinking of buying them on Blu-ray because for some reason now they're real cheap. They used to be really expensive.
I know Disney's films have always been just way more expensive than everyone else's because they know, I guess, because people fucking buy them.
Yep. But now they've gone down a bit, I guess, with Disney Plus, Disney on Disney services. But yeah, like, do you reckon it's appropriate that they got rid of it, or do you reckon they should have left it in?
No, I'm pissed off.
You pissed off?
I think it's a really funny gag.
See, it's hard to it's a tough thing where they kind of like fucked if you do, fucked if you don't.
Yeah, I understand why they did it, but I'm just like, fucking hell, Disney, just have a backbone. You sanctioned this joke. Don't go back on it now. Exactly.
Like, and it's not the I don't want to say it's not the worst joke, but yeah, it's not the worst thing they could have made a joke about.
No, and it doesn't matter. It's in the past.
Yeah, Disney needs to take a leaf out of Rafiki's tree, and just they need to be hit over the head with a fucking club.
Yeah,
and they need to realize that they're being too self-conscious. Like even like another idea of self-consciousness, they were considering firing Taika Waititi from Thor 3 because one of his side project movies is called Jojo Rabbit, in which
where he plays Hitler.
He plays Hitler, or at least a young Hitler youth's imaginary friend who is Hitler.
Yes.
And Disney was like, "Oh, that's not good for our image." And it's like, well, it's not a movie made by you.
Yeah.
Like, it's like, stop being so concerned about other people's shit. Like, you're just gonna like run yourself down, and you're gonna run yourself into another. Like, I guess this is Jacob's wisdom, as some life advice, but also advice for Disney. Just don't be so fucking concerned about what other people are doing.
Yeah,
like, just it's a comedy made by a different studio. Like, you don't have to be like, it's not. Even if Hitler stuff is distasteful in nowadays ultra sensitive climate, I don't know. Like you fuckers aren't like immune to criticism because you guys have had fucking heaps of Hitler imagery in the past. Like, it's don't pretend that suddenly like
Donald Duck wearing a Nazi uniform and shit like that.
Goose stepping hyenas, like don't act surprised. Don't be like, oh, this is just too bad. This is just too shocking. Like, no, you like, everyone's seen it for a while. You just think that fucking people will make a fuss about it, and you don't want like a people to write badly about Disney. But they already do.
They still, so, I'm sure they want people to forget the fact that they made the film Song of the South.
Yes.
Which was extremely racist, is it not? I haven't seen it, but that's...
It's about... I think it's about slavery.
Yeah, so Disney, get off your high horse. I actually saw a wonderful thing this morning.
Slavery?
No. I saw a screenshot. I'm not sure where it's from, but it's a presentation by Warner Brothers. I'm assuming of some of their very old cartoons.
Yep.
And they say that this cartoon does not represent our views, but it has been kept intact because it is a product of its time, and we're not going to change it. Even if our views on it have changed now, that represents its views of the time, and we're going to keep it as it was because it's a product of its time. We're not going to come back and edit some shit out of it now because we no longer agree with what it says at its time. It's what it is, and we made it. So take that with a grain of salt. And I think that's wonderful. That's the perfect way to do it.
That, in a way, is taking responsibility.
Yes.
What Disney's doing is the complete opposite. It's distancing itself from it, going, "Oh, we never did it. Oh, we never made it. Oh, trying to getting rid of it." It's like, no, just be like, look, times are different. Times have changed. We made this. We're sorry. Blah blah blah.
Yeah.
But we're not going to get rid of it. Like, they need a backbone. They
do.
Like, as much as we give Warner Brothers shit for DC, that's probably like a very wise thing for them to do. Be like, look, this exists. It's horrible, but we made it.
Yeah.
Sorry. Like, yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
we're not going to pretend it doesn't exist because we made it. Here it is. Yeah. We don't agree with this anymore. There was some fucked up shit in here. But it's part of our history. And we learn from our mistakes. We no longer think that we no longer think this way, but this is what it is.
Well, even considering this, right? That like, if you were to remove every little bit, like a lot of films made back in the day, you would have to get rid of because times are different. Like, there's a line in Breakfast at Tiffany's where the main character says something like, "You're mine," but he says it in like a romantic way, like, "You're mine, you belong to me."
Yeah.
In this day, they'd be like, "Oh, he's controlling her," but like, now that wouldn't fly nowadays. But you wouldn't. Also, Breakfast at Tiffany's has the racist Japanese character, but also like, there's
that's what it was. I think that the Warner Brothers thing was saying, because they were saying it leans into a lot of stereotypes and things of the time period.
Yep. Exactly. Like, but at least they're kind of sticking up for themselves, saying like, "Look, this happened." Yeah. Blah blah. But yeah, if that's the case, and like, but doing a Disney would be just trying to bury it. Like Breakfast at Tiffany's is such a beloved film, except it does have a few questionable things about Japanese stereotypes and what was the other one? Yeah, and the ownership thing. But even then, like Tom and Jerry is a beloved cartoon, but the only reason like there's a bit of controversy about it nowadays is because even though they don't show humans in the full in those shows.
Yeah.
One of the human characters who does show up and is sort of shown, but is kind of obscured, is I think a black housemaid. Yeah, she was a black woman who's like a.
I don't think she's a housemaid. I think she owns the house, isn't she? Doesn't she? It's Thomas. Thomas is her cat. Thomas, there's a mouse in the house.
I think so. I don't know. I thought she was a servant. I don't know. Like
you assumed, Jacob.
There's gonna be a lot you're gonna have to cut out in this fucking.
Oh no! This is the roast of Jacob. His true colors revealed. My night with Jacob.
my night with Jacob. Jacob assumes that fucking black people are servants whenever he comes across them. Jacob hates the new Lion King movie because Beyonce sounds too black. But
yeah, you've really dug yourself into a corner with this episode, haven't you?
I have. I've really dug a grave. Well, I didn't dig the grave. The Tom's owner did, but I got her too. Fuck me.
All right, I think you need to stop. We need to move on. Well done, Warner Brothers, for having a backbone. Well done, Disney, for being pieces of shit. What would you like to talk about now, Jacob?
Continuing on the whole Disney being pieces of shit, do you want to talk about Spider-Man?
Yes, I suppose we will have to, won't we?
Yep. As of now, it seems that Disney has gotten too fucking greedy with Sony, with the Sony deal, and looks like Sony wants to pull Spider-Man out of the MCU.
Yes. We were just talking last episode about the fact that if you're a Spider-Man fan, you can never really be comfortable because you just know someone's going to come in and fuck it up. So I don't know if we're going to see Tom Holland again. He's got 2 more films in his contract, but that's with Disney or with Marvel. So, like, I don't even know. I'm hoping that this conversation is going to age really poorly, and by the time the episode comes out, we might have a resolution, because this is, at the time of recording, this is hot off the press stuff.
Yeah. I hope... So, do you reckon like that they will go through with the rest of Tom Holland's movies and then pull Spider-Man out of the MCU after he's done? Or do you reckon they're just pulling him out straight now?
No, he's been pulled out straight away. So the way it would either have to work is they have to come to a resolution and put him back in, or Sony's just going to make 2 more movies where he suddenly pretends that he didn't go to space last year and turn to dust, and no Iron Man or anything like that, which is going to be miserable.
It sucks for Disney because Disney has set up this storyline of in Far From Home where Spider-Man has got this responsibility of possibly being the next Iron Man.
Yeah.
But now they're going to get rid of that. And also, not spoiling the Far From Home end credits, but it reveals it's a very good cliffhanger.
Yeah, good setup for the next film.
Yep. And now we're probably not going to see it. So, I don't know.
Thanks, guys.
How many times does Uncle Ben have to get fucking brutally murdered in order for you guys to...
Here we go again.
Oh, shit, Peter. Responsibility.
Oh, shit. My favorite character in Spider-Man, Uncle Black.
Uncle Black. No, it sounds too black. I don't like it.
Yeah, I don't think Disney's solely to blame though in this thing. Disney, they may have begun, they may have kicked off the fireworks, but I'm sure Sony looked at it and they were like, well, you know, we won an Oscar last year for a Spider-Man film, and we made over $1 billion last year with another Spider-Man property. So clearly, we can do just fine without these fucking Disney guys. And
if I recall, wasn't the original deal Disney gets all the merchandising profits, but Sony gets 95% of the like box office returns, and Disney gets 5%?
Because they pay the whole budget of the film, I believe.
Yeah, but from what I recall, Disney were trying to say, look, how about we get a 50-50 split?
Yeah, we pay 50% of the budget, we get 50% of the profits.
Look, this is how you'd fix that situation. You'd give Sony half the merchandising profits and Disney half the merchandising profits.
Yes.
And you give Sony half the box office profits and Disney, like, you wouldn't just be so greedy, but like, we want all the merchandising profits plus the box office. You'd be like, no, we'd split it down the middle. Like, it feels like a lot of the memes now they're coming out about this seem like are all based on like this idea of like who owns custody of young Spider-Man, like it's a divorce thing. Like it's I find that really amusing. It's like
yes,
parents fighting over custody. It's like
At the same time, though, what they've also said is that Disney was trying to, work with Sony to set up future things as well.
Yeah.
Like saying, you've got this Venom character. Perhaps we can introduce Venom into the MCU to do a crossover. We'll both make a lot of fucking money. But I think that yes, it's a two-way street because I think that Sony doesn't play well with others.
No,
but also Disney, scum.
Yeah.
All I know is that Sony will inevitably fuck it up, as they have done every time, because they will tamper with the product and they will get it fucked up and then they'll restart again.
Isn't that got to do with a certain residential Amy Pascal? Is that her name?
Who?
Wasn't she the reason why Spider-Man 3 was the reason it came out the way it did?
I'm not sure. I'm not just talking about Spider-Man 3 though. I'm talking about Amazing Spider-Man 2 as well. It's every time they set it up, they have studio interference that fucks it up.
True. I mean, yeah, both of these studios sound pretty fucking scummy. Like the Sony leaks revealed, like Sony doesn't treat their employees very well.
Yeah.
The Disney is just a money hungry conglomerate. Like it's like who do you want to? It's like the South Park episode. It's like who do you want to choose, a turd sandwich or a?
Oh fuck! What's the other one? Turd sandwich or a douche. Wait,
a douche. Yeah, a douche.
Yeah, douche or a turd sandwich.
It's pick your poison. I mean, it's only annoying because at least Spider-Man 3 didn't end with a cliffhanger. There was a sort of sense of finality with
now we've had Amazing Spider-Man 2 that had it end on a cliffhanger. Now we've had Far From Home end on a cliffhanger.
In a sense, Far From Home is like the greater tragedy because I'm sorry to dog on Amazing Spider-Man 2 again. Just cover your ears. Cover your ears. I'll swear I'll be as gentle and as delicate as possible to your the biggest guilty pleasure of your lifetime.
Yes.
But I wasn't excited to see another Spider-Man movie after Amazing Spider-Man 2. People were are still pretty keen on Tom Holland's Spider-Man.
Yes, but what I'm saying is, in terms of studio interference, is that Amazing Spider-Man 2, the problem was because of the studio interference. I'm sure had they not interfered, that it would have been a much more coherent film that didn't try to set up 53,000 sequels and spin-offs.
I'm sure that's the case.
Because you didn't hate the first Amazing Spider-Man, did you?
No, it was okay. It was just okay.
Yeah, I'm sure at the very worst, you probably would have thought that the second one was okay as well, had it not been completely fucked by Sony.
True. Yeah. I think what I was getting at is it's a bigger tragedy for this Spider-Man because it's so beloved, this version of it, whereas the other one was moderately to
it's got its
moderately
fans.
Like it's got its fans, but more people were more shocked and more invested in this new one as opposed to the old one.
Well, yeah, that's because it's Marvel.
Yeah,
it's the MCU.
Yep. That's a real shame.
Fucking Spider-Man. It's so tough being a fucking Spider-Man fan. We're honestly, to be honest, we're the most oppressed group of people in the world. If you ask me,
you are the gamers of the superhero community.
Yeah, gamers ain't got shit on us. We're the greatest minority. That society just wants to spit on us, Spider-Man fans.
Well, if you're a minority, then I think one, you'd have to stay away from both me and Sam Raimi, and two, you'd also have to stay away from gamers because they also have a thing against minorities as well.
But they are a minority. They're an oppressed minority.
Oh, that's the gamer conundrum, isn't it? What do they do in that situation?
So do you hate yourselves?
They just explode like the fembots from Austin Powers. They're like, I apologize sincerely to Spider-Man fans, and I apologize sincerely on behalf of all white people to black people. But let's move on. let's move on to
a different topic.
A different topic.
So what do you think the future of Marvel is going to look like without Spider-Man, like, in the franchise? Because he's become an integral part, like, the past few years in the film series.
Well, I don't know how they're going to write him out. I think that's going to be the biggest issue. Like, he can either just go into hiding, and they could do like a season 9 of Walking Dead bullshit thing where like, oh, you just don't know where Maggie is. Like,
Yeah.
he's in
Yeah,
hiding.
that's fair.
He's hiding in
I
his
guess
bedroom.
they can do that, but it'll be a joke.
You're knowing that would be like, oh, Spider-Man left the MCU. Ha 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 ha.
Yeah, will they even be allowed to acknowledge the fact that he's left?
I don't know.
Probably not. I feel like they would. I feel like Sony will have it set up in a way so that Marvel literally just has to not acknowledge the fact that he was ever there. They'll just have to go about their day, business as usual.
Well, what's the next Marvel film coming out? Marvel.
Is it the Eternals?
Yeah, like you'll just have. They'll probably just have Spider-Man show up during the middle of the Eternals for like a few seconds, and they're like, "Spider-Man, what are you doing here?" And you'll look at the camera and say, "I have to go now. My planet needs me." And then like it'll say, "Spider-Man died returning to his home planet," and that's how they'll get rid of him.
Is that the fucking cool dog from
Yeah, cool
Itchy
dog.
and Scratchy?
I'm glad you caught on. Yeah, that was the cool dog from Richie and Scratchy.
Oh fuck, that got me. Oh, Jacob, you crack me up.
Oh,
Oh dear.
you crack me up too. You're such a sweet boy.
It's a good thing that you can remind me of how much I love you on this special day, our third Facebook friendversary.
Oh yes, well, we have been friends for about a year now, according to Facebook, and it's
What? No, it was 3 years.
3 years.
It was 3 years.
How long have I had this app for? Fucking not a long time.
I guess 3 years.
3 years. And 20 others. Oh.
Was I one of your first friends on Facebook, Jacob?
Let me have a look. I got rid of your profile pic, so now I'm going to be stuttering and
Oh yeah, Jacob's been staring at a photo of me this whole time because he decided after the last episode that he's much more comfortable if we can see each other. So he's just had a fucking weird photo of my face on his screen for him to stare into the entire episode.
sexy photo. Apparently on this day I made friends with a fuck ton of people. So, but Facebook would know that because they've sort of. I don't really give a shit about Facebook, but yeah, but we have been friends for about 3 years according to Facebook.
According to Facebook. How long have we been friends?
When did I first meet you?
We first met at soccer.
Yes, me and Lachlan were Lachlan and I were soccer fags at some point.
We were but we lads kicking a ball around, and the both of us very poorly kicking the ball around.
That might have been early high school or maybe late middle school.
Well, for me, there was no such thing as middle school, but I would say yes, early high school.
Early high school, definitely. And then that's when we met. I think we hit it off. We
pretty much hit it off straight away.
We did, and I looked him straight in the eye. He looked me straight in the eye, and then
Jacob got on his knees.
I got on my knees, and then Lachlan said, "What the fuck?" And I stood back up, and then you started humping my leg. Because that's what alphas do, and you are
Yeah.
quite an alpha.
Yeah, it's true. So that's the story of how we met. I hope you guys all enjoyed it.
I got to tell you something.
Yeah.
I say I was looking at you and you were looking at me. I wasn't. I was looking at your wife. And she was looking mighty fine that day, and I'm so sorry. I'm so
Jacob,
sorry.
I thought we resolved this. I thought we weren't going to do this on the podcast anymore.
I thought we weren't too, but just, I feel like I've got to get it off my chest, and I've got to get something off her chest as well. You got a rag?
Jacob.
That's the end of part one.
Jacob,
of
I had so many more topics to talk about on this episode, but for fuck's sake, man. No, I need to go take a fucking breather. All right, that's the end of this episode. I'm sorry to cut it short, but Jacob's just fucking put me in a state of depression. So, any closing thoughts, Homewrecker?
I'm here for you, man. I'm always here for you, man. I can only say sorry so many times, but
you know what, Jacob?
yeah.
I hope Stinky Pete comes back to finish the job!
I don't want him to stick his fucking pickaxe in my butthole again. I don't want it. I don't want it.